What's a frat party really like?
So a frat party is basically
Lights, it's dark,
sticky, hot, and sweaty.
People will literally just like yeet things over the entire crowd, and I've gotten hit with some items.
cramped, ground is very sticky.
it's just a crowded room, like
Elevated surfaces where girls stand up and dance.
You're going to be drenched after.
Really loud, kind of sweaty.
neon lights everywhere.
Very, very hot. And there's like these like flashing lights.
You're gonna get stepped on. You go to it, you're like, whoa, and then you're like, no. Hi guys, what's up? It's Emma. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a college 101, basically everything you need to know if you're going to be a freshman in college. As you know, I'm a rising junior at Virginia Tech, and I figured since I only go to one school, I only have one perspective on the whole thing in terms of college, so I asked a bunch of my friends to be part of this video, and I thought it'd be really fun. So meet the cast. This video is College 101, big sister advice if you're stressed about school, covering every single thing college, from boys to dorms to parties to rushing, sororities, Greek life. It's gonna be a good one, so just keep watching. How do I decorate my room / room decor? When I say Amazon is going to be your best friend, I cannot stress this enough. When it comes to textbooks, decor, literally essentials, somehow this video is sponsored by Amazon. The content and opinions expressed here are that of mine and mine only. It will save your life. Amazon sent me a few things to prep me to moving into my sorority house this year, which I will share with you guys, which I'm so excited about. Oh, Amazon sent me my very own TikTok lights. I didn't have LED lights my freshman year. You can see, I decorate a lot with. When it comes to room decor, Amazon has a wide variety and low prices, which is really cool because obviously college students were balling on a budget. It makes sense. Also, it's important that it gets there fast. As a student myself, Amazon also offers something called Prime Student. The membership is offered at half the price of a normal Prime membership because they appreciate the fact that we are students and we are poor. It offers the best of shopping and entertainment year-round. Like I said, if you need an Alexa, if you need your TV, a Fire Stick, all of that. Personally, my freshman year, our room was like the movie room because we had the big TV. Also, this is a dream invention. So if you guys know, usually when you're in a dorm, you have a lofted bed. So my bed was semi-lofted freshman year, and you stick this to the wall, and it has a pocket for your phone, your AirPods or anything, and then it has a holder for your cord, so you don't have to rest your phone way down on your desk or try to tape or attach like a shelf to your bed. Another thing which has been a huge trend is the whole LED neon light sign. So they gave me this one, which I'm so excited about. I actually used to live in Florida, if you guys didn't know. They also sent me a really cool jewelry hanger. So my freshman year, I actually tried to put command hooks on the side of my closet and put all my jewelry on that, if you guys have been watching me for long enough. Amazing 3-tiered jewelry holder. It's beautiful, holds all my necklaces, and has a dish at the bottom for all my rings, bracelets, earrings, everything like that. This year to my apartment, since I came back from being on semester at sea, I was kind of really discombobulated, like not prepared at all. I had Amazon Prime my lab goggles, my lab coat, all these sorts of things that I needed the next day. I will link everything that I've mentioned down below. My blanket, oh my god, I forgot. I knew I was forgetting something. This blanket looks so fancy, and it's also really soft. It's not only this, it's also this. What was it like transitioning to dorm life? Obviously, if you're about to be a freshman in college, you realize that dorm life, you might have a sink, you might not have a sink, you're not making your own food, it's a smaller space, it's kind of intimidating, you have the whole roommate thing. I think it's important to be vocal with your roommate about what time do we go to bed, how clean do we like to keep the room. It's not gonna be weird unless you make it weird. Just make sure to keep a really open relationship and just like be very vocal about it and just kind of like casual. Dorm hall was co-ed, so all the guys were on one side and all the girls were on one side, but we all shared a floor, and it was really fun. And I actually met my best friends the literal first night of school, and they all lived in my dorm. So I think a dorm is so fun. Be social, keep your space clean, and be vocal with your roommate, and you should be totally fine.
Me and Emma go to the same school, as you can tell. Go Hokies. I'm a very clean, organized, minimalistic person. I like to have my space. I don't like to be around people 24/7, and I knew that was going to be a big problem coming in to college because I was like, what am I gonna do? Like, I have to share a shoebox sized room with another person. I mean, yes, at times it was like chaotic. My roommate Lily, love her to death. We are very complete opposites. Like, we work very well together, but she is a little bit more messy. Her decor style and everything is very different than mine. Being around people 24/7 in dorms, it made me love social interactions and being around other people so much more. And then once I got home, I was like, I don't even know how to be alone at this point. I would literally go back to my dorm and stay there the next 3 years of college. Like, that's how much I loved dorm life.
I'm not gonna lie, I loved the dorms. I loved everything about them. It was so much fun. Yes, it was a really weird transition and it was a very big transition, but honestly, I was pretty lucky though. My dorm was a pretty big size. I had a kitchen, I had a bathroom. I wish I could go back. Every night together was like a new adventure. It was just great.
So I had actually never shared a room in my entire life. I'm an only child. I had never even lived with someone else my own age. So that whole experience was very interesting. I think it taught me a lot about getting to know people. I became friends with people I never thought I ever would.
For me, it was very difficult transitioning to dorm life because I am very much a homebody. So I got very homesick my first few months living in a dorm. I also really value having my own space, and not having that, living in a dorm and having a roommate and sharing a space, is really not good for my mental health. For me, it was really challenging.
It was a lot easier than I thought it would be. I think the hardest part was being around someone all the time. Almost every girl that I know that went to my school hated her roommate. I don't know if something was in the water, but a lot of people had issues with their roommates. I think it's hard to be around someone all the time. The best thing that helped me get out of that was finding friends that was not mutual friends with my roommate, so people I could escape with and like have fun and not always be with the same person 24/7.
Transitioning to dorm life actually wasn't as bad for me as I thought it would be. I'm used to having my own room with no roommates, so I was nervous that living in a dorm would be a huge change that I wouldn't like. It was actually really easy to get used to, and I did not think it would be. For me, it basically took a week to get fully acclimated, and then I pretty much felt at home at that point. Even though you're sharing a room with someone, you still have your own side, and you can decorate it exactly how you want to kind of give it your own personal taste. You're with so many other students in the same boat as you, so it really doesn't feel lonely, and I actually really ended up loving dorm life. Like, I kind of miss it, to be honest.
How do you balance school life, work life, sorority work, and everything? At least for me, every single year I like to stack my classes. On Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays, for example, I'll have a really heavy class schedule, so I know that those days are going to be primarily school days, but then I'll have Tuesday and Thursday to do all YouTube stuff. I think the most unique part of college, transitioning from high school, is that all of a sudden it's not a whole block of day that you're busy. It's kind of like on and off period. So you're on for 2 hours in class, and you have like an hour break, and then you have another class, and you have a 4-hour break. Take advantage of these little times in the day to kind of work on things little by little, because something is always going on. Even if you're not actually going anywhere, your friends are going to be hanging out. There's your common area in the dorm. A lot of times doing homework is a social excuse to be together anyways, but try to get your hardest work done during the day. Obviously now it's more virtual, so it's a little bit different, but take this advice and twist it towards the whole quarantine COVID thing we know.
Well, I don't have a social life. I'm not in a sorority.
Time management is a big thing in college. You really have to have a lot of self-discipline, especially since a lot of your classes your professors don't require you to go to. It's basically up to you on how much work you want to put in, because I mean, obviously a majority of your grades are just based on tests and quizzes and exams. Definitely going to get a rude awakening if you aren't used to it already. Planners have saved my life. Really do recommend getting one of those in college. It's basically up to you to make sure you're on top of everything.
I thought balancing all those things would be really hard, but actually it helped my time management in a way. I just wrote everything down in my planner. I would make time for everything that was important to me. Honestly, anything that you love enough, you're gonna make time for it. Sometimes you can't do everything, so it's okay to say no to certain events. There are gonna be plenty more, and you really aren't missing out on much if you don't go to every single thing.
For me, what I would do, sometimes, not all the time, but I would tell myself, like, okay, I'm gonna finish this assignment, or I'm gonna finish this, and then I can go have fun. Gave me like a goal. Finish my homework, finish anything, then I'm able to go out and hang out with my friends and stuff like that.
This one is definitely trial and error. It took me a bit to figure it out, but I think one thing that really helped me was routines. A lot of the classes that I took had the same assignments due every single week, so I very much got into a routine. It helped me time manage. So during the day I would just be doing school. Kind of in the evenings I would be doing sorority stuff, like there would be chapter, there would be events, and then at night I would have like a social life, like I would go to a party or hang out with friends, and it was very much like different times of the day for me were different things, and it definitely took a while to get in the swing of things, but once I did, it was so much easier, and I felt like I was managing my time really well.
I was on my school's club ski team as well as in a sorority. At one point I was shooting for our school's newspaper, and I'm also in a pretty difficult science major on campus, so I definitely got used to balancing a lot. This is what saved my life. It's a knock-knock pad. I talk about these all the time on my channel. I always organize a list of what I'm doing for the week. When you're busy and you love everything you're involved in, you definitely are motivated to get stuff done, and you also surround yourself with other people who are very involved, and being in a sorority
sorority definitely did that because all my sorority sisters had their own thing, so we all just kind of like pushed each other to get it done.
How did you know your roommate was a good fit?
Picking a roommate is very risky because you really just don't know, especially if you can't meet them in person. I met my roommate through our school Facebook group. The biggest things that I looked for were that we had similar morals, I guess. Like we both had the same school values. We wanted to make sure we were studying and doing well, but also we both wanted to have a good social life in college. So it comes down to like picking someone who has the same overall ideas of how much they want to study, how much they want to go out with friends. And my roommate and I both had the exact same idea of that, so that's how I knew it was going to be a good fit from the start.
I met my roommate over the Facebook. Facebook is how a lot of schools do it nowadays. I knew that my roommate and I, Lucille, were going to be a good fit because we had a lot of the same interests. Obviously, I made one of those Facebook posts that was like, my name's Emma, I like working out, I like going out on the weekends, but I also like to stay in and have a good time. We both had really strong passion for graphic design, photography. We were both the exact same major. I definitely say I would go with someone you think you're going to be comfortable with. Make sure you talk about like, how clean do you want the room? Like, are you okay with this? Like, I'm going to have people over late. I like people sleeping over. I'm gonna sleep out. Stuff like that. Text them, start a snap streak, follow them on Instagram. Like I had friends that their rooms were simply just places to go back to after class, and they literally just like lived coexisting and happily. They weren't always the best of friends.
With Taylor, we were such a good fit because we had lived in rooms next to each other in the sorority house, so I already kind of knew like her cleanliness level, her typical routine. It worked out really well, but also you never know, and there's never a perfect person to live with. Finding someone who can communicate and work through problems with is the key.
Me and my roommate, we are going on 2 years of being roommates now. We actually went to the same high school together. We were in the same friend group, we were acquaintances, but we were never really like super close. We're complete opposites. We balance each other out. It's the most important thing to have a roommate that you can trust and be yourself around, and I feel like I definitely can do that around Lily. If you find your roommate on Facebook and you guys think you're a good fit, you guys have to talk as much as you can. You have to FaceTime. I get if you guys are out of state and it just doesn't work, but if you guys are in state and only a few hours away from each other, take that time. I know it might be nerve-wracking, but plan a trip to go visit each other and see each other in social environments to really get to see like, hey, is this gonna work?
I basically just did not want a complete stranger. That really scared me. I know a lot of people do just have like a random person that they meet, like maybe through Facebook or through another one of the websites where you can meet roommates, or maybe they just have a random one. I don't know, but I was terrified of that. So I knew that this other girl who was from my town going to the same school, and I ended up just messaging her. Yeah, I was just happy that she was from my hometown. We kind of had mutual friends.
The next question is how to make friends, and I feel like this is advice that is repeated a lot, but 1, leave your door open. 2, try to join clubs and be very active and social on campus. Like, I know this is harder because of COVID, but since you're already quarantined / in your dorm, since people can't go out and do clubs and stuff right now, everyone's gonna be extra social, if not more than normal, in a normal dorm. But literally walk by rooms and be like, hi, my name's Emma, I live in 323. Also, when classes are physical, sit next to friendly looking people, talk to them, ask for their number, homework, group me messages for stuff like that. Can't really do this over Zoom, so I don't know, privately Zoom message somebody.
I was really nervous going into college that I wouldn't make friends super easily, but it's actually easier than I thought it would be. I think the biggest thing you have to do is just put yourself out there, even when it can be scary. The first night that I moved into my dorm, my roommate and I, we barely even knew each other, but we went and knocked on people's doors on our floor and just introduced ourselves. Even if it's a little bit awkward, everyone's in the same boat and they're all moving in, and everyone really like wants to make friends, so it just helps get the ball rolling. I guess bottom line is just don't be afraid to go up and say hi to someone that you don't know at all, because they could end up being a really good friend.
So I would say just to really try and put yourself out there as much as you can and try to get involved. One of the questions that is also on here is like, do I rush? Like, do I want to go through recruitment? And for me, I 100% recommend it. It is so much fun. I have met my best friends like in my story, like going through recruitment, standing in the lines through like whenever you go into the houses. I know this year's recruitment is probably going to look really different for a lot of different schools. Most of it's probably going to be on Zoom. It's not for you. That's 100% okay.
Honestly, the question should be how to make true friends. This is a hard question. I didn't really find my group until probably junior, senior year, but I was friends with these people a little bit earlier, and then we all came together. I think the biggest thing is reaching out to people, and especially freshman year, it was really normal and easy just to ask someone in your class if you wanted to go grab food. I spent a lot of time studying with different people, and you can make friends through your study group. I loved having different groups of friends. I had my ski team friends, my sorority friends, my major friends. I finally felt like when I got to college, I could be 100% my genuine self, and that truly attracted other people who felt the same way.
Well, I struggled with this, so I kind of can tell you what not to do. It's really important to keep an open mind and be open to new opportunities and experiences and really put yourself out there, because those are all things that I didn't do, and I struggled making friends. I feel like if I would have myself out there more and just gotten involved, I would have had more chances to make friends, I think.
Everyone wants to make friends. Everyone's new. No one knows each other. And me and my roommate and some of the girls in my hall, every single day, we had nothing to do. We just go walk down the hall, see whose door's open, pop in there and be like, hey, like, I'm Maya. And you just talk. You just literally get to know each other, and let's go out together. Like, let's get ready. Like, come to my dorm. That's just kind of how it works. And that's how me and all of my best friends right now. I still posted on the Facebook page, even though I knew Lily was going to be my roommate. And I posted and I was like, hey, I already have a roommate, but I'd love to still make friends. And that's how I made my best friend Julie. The second day of classes, she was like, hey, like, I know we're not roommates anymore, but I'd love to get lunch with you. And I was so nervous to meet her because I was like, oh my god, I don't know this girl. Like, I have to go to get lunch with her. But now we're like the best of friends, and I would have never ever known her if I didn't like follow through with meeting her on Facebook.
One thing everyone says that you need, but you actually don't.
Honestly, I would say clothes, because I know me, I only used like only a couple t-shirts. Like, I brought like my whole entire like wardrobe. I probably didn't even wear half of the t-shirts that I brought. I really think, like, am I really gonna wear this? Like,
Everyone said that you needed a vacuum, but honestly, my floor had one. Definitely asking older people who go to school there and see what the dorms come with.
If you're a big coffee person, bring a Keurig or an espresso, but if your school sells coffee on campus, like my school, like Tech literally has a walkable Starbucks, a Dunkin' next door, they have Pete's Coffee, and they have their own coffee through Dietz. Coffee everywhere. It was on my meal plan already. I just a lot of times got coffee, whatever. Literally for tea, instead of using my Keurig, I would just put it in the microwave. A lot of people say you need a handheld steamer. I never used one, don't need it, borrowed it from a friend.
Coffee machine. I'm serious, a coffee machine. Thought I would use my coffee maker every single day. Did not touch that. I just got coffee when I was on campus, but that also could be different this year because obviously dining halls aren't fully open. If I were to go back, I probably would not have bought a coffee machine because I didn't use it as much as I would have liked to.
Oh, a TV. Okay, if you're just living in a dorm, like it's you and a roommate and you're in like a dorm building, you don't need a TV. It just is gonna take up space. I watched things on my laptop 95% of the time, so the TV was pretty much useless.
What's a frat party really like?
so a frat party is basically
Lights, it's dark.
Sticky, hot, and sweaty.
People will literally just like yeet things over the entire crowd, and I've gotten hit with some items.
Ground is very sticky.
Cramped.
it's just a crowded room. Like,
They have like these elevated surfaces where girls stand up and dance.
You're going to be drenched after.
Really loud.
It's kind of sweaty.
neon lights everywhere.
Very, very hot.
Kind of dark, and then there's like these like flashing lights.
Sometimes they even have themes for frat parties.
You go to it, you're like, whoa, and then you're like, no.
Be prepared to have some type of beverage spilled on you.
These have been my frat shoes for the past 2 years. As you can see, they're absolutely hideous. You're gonna get stepped on, you're gonna step in stuff. If it's outside, usually there's mud, I don't know.
Also, like, the party is definitely different depending on which frat you're at.
You get to meet so many new people and just have fun, dance with your girls. There's elevated surfaces.
Then if you go outside in their backyard, it's normally a bunch of people standing around talking, trying to get some air because it's so hot inside.
What are college boys really like?
Yeah, I just don't, personally, I don't really speak to them.
Freshman boys especially are probably like the most immature. Obviously there are some really, really nice and like really good guys out there. You know, they're there to be with their boys and like all their like friends and stuff, just have fun, which is totally understandable. But obviously there are some good freshman boys out there.
When it comes to college boys that are friends, my college guy friends are my absolute best friends. Since you're with them 24/7, you know way too much about them. I had my guy friends freshman year, we would do face masks all the time. I taught them all about skincare. They tried on my sunglasses. They in turn provided me with snacks, entertainment, very fun conversations. A lot of people come to school with a girlfriend or a boyfriend. The thing that we say at Tech is turkey drop, which means if you come in with a boyfriend or girlfriend from high school, you'll probably break up around November, hence turkey drop. When acclimating to a new climate like college, don't put all your dependency to be happy on one person and vice versa. Let them put all their dependency on you. You can get vacuumed into it so fast, you kind of lose sense of self. And be low key, take it easy, don't take anything too seriously.
Honestly, I should have known this going into college, but a lot of the boys aren't really looking for relationships. And I know that's a big generalization because there are a lot of guys that are looking for that, but a lot of the guys that I interacted with, I thought they wanted something, but deep down they really just wanted to hook up or not have anything serious. And I feel like I should have known that anyway, and I kind of did, but I was just a little bit naive about it. So just have that in the back of your mind when you're talking to college boys. And again, not all of them are like that, but a good amount are, and it's just good to go in knowing that not every guy wants a relationship, or they might not be on the same page as you.
College boys are having the time of their life. Don't get too caught up in them because a lot of guys will play games with you, maybe break your heart. I feel like a lot of guys also don't want any strings attached at all. Don't think too much about it.
Do you have to rush?
I don't think so. I know a ton of people that are not in a sorority. I think it's one of those things that like it supplements your college experience, but I don't think that you'll be missing out that much if you're not in it.
Absolutely not, but I would say that you have to get involved in something that you're passionate about.
I went Zeta my sophomore year. I'm living in the house this year. I'm absolutely so excited. You definitely don't have to join Greek life. This varies per school. I know that like Southern schools, Greek life is like huge and like everybody rushes, but other schools it's like kind of not as a big deal. I liked rushing as a sophomore because I already had an established group of friends. I made so many friends that recruitment. For the first time, I feel like it was a group of people that all really supported me and cared about me and loved me, and I felt really comfortable there. Can't imagine not being in that now because I love them so much and I've met so many genuine people.
No, you definitely don't have to rush in order to have a good college experience. I personally did it because I wanted to make a bunch of friends, and I don't regret that at all. But Greek life isn't big on every campus, and there's still so many opportunities to make friends without rushing. There are different clubs, you can make friends in classes if you put yourself out there, in the dorms, wherever you're living. Rushing is a great experience and I'd recommend it for people that are interested, but I know it's not for everyone, and you don't have to go through recruitment in order to love college and make a ton of friends.
The two schools that I went to, neither of them were big Greek life schools because they were in the Northeast. I feel like a lot of the Southern schools are huge for Greek life, but the schools that I went to just weren't, so I never felt pressured to rush. It definitely wasn't something like you had to do.
For guys, I would say yes. Like if you are very into social life, I think it's a big thing for guys to rush. For girls, I definitely don't think it's necessary at all. You really don't have to. I would have been totally fine not rushing or being in a sorority. I am in a sorority and I did rush in January. I love it. I mean, I really didn't get that much time in it to, you know, really get the feel of what being in a sorority is like. I think that if you don't find your friend group in your dorm, then I definitely think rushing will be worth it because you'll be able to find those friends.
How did you know your college was right for you?
Like I said, I go to Missouri State University, and that is about 3 hours away from my home. So for me, it just felt like I was going far, but I was still close enough to home where I could go home if I wanted to. And actually at first I did not want to go to Missouri State like whatsoever. Like it's not a school that most people really go to from my high school, so I was like, oh no, I'm not going there. Then I visited it and I absolutely loved it. It just felt like home.
I actually decided on tech before I even toured. I applied to like 7 schools. Really wanted to go out of state initially, but I really also wanted to pick the best financial option because I really wanted to go to UF, but my parents were like, if you go to UF, probably can't study abroad, and I knew studying abroad was going to be a huge part of my experience even before I knew I was going to go on SAS. I knew that I wanted that. Plus, tech was the furthest in-state school from me. Go to the school that you feel at home at or just feels right. If you feel like any sort of doubt choosing a school, ask yourself why you're feeling that. I made a lot of pros and cons lists the entire time applying to schools, and my like main school that I wanted to go to switched every like 3 weeks. I just kind of didn't really think tech was ever going to be a school for me, but then I went there and I got there and I realized like I can't imagine going anywhere else. Looking at it now, I was meant to go to tech and I loved it. Not a big deal to transfer. I actually had 2 of my closest friends freshman year transfer out, and they're way happier at other spots. In your heart, whatever feels right, do that one.
For me, when I toured my college, that's when I really just knew it was meant for me. I toured a bunch of colleges before the one that I ended up at, and I just didn't really feel like they fit me. My biggest tip would be to tour the campus if you can and see how all the students interact, and that way you get an overall feel of what the vibe is like there. I feel like a lot of times it's just intuitive. When you end up in a place that you feel like is meant for you, it's just kind of this knowing, like, I need to be here.
Well, I actually only committed there because I was running out of time and I didn't give myself enough options. I actually ended up transferring that school after 2 years because I was not happy there. My one takeaway from that is if you aren't happy where you are, it's completely okay to try something else and go somewhere else. Don't feel like you have to get it 100% right the first time because it doesn't always work out the way that you think it's going to, and it's totally okay. okay.
For me, when I toured my college, it just felt like home. Immediately, I was like, this is where I want to be. For me, a social aspect was a really big thing in college. The other colleges that I was touring were not in like a very central location with a ton of things going on. I wanted stuff to do on campus and off campus, and when I toured ASU, I go to Arizona State, by the way. When I toured ASU, it just felt right. It just felt like fun and energetic, and there was things going, and it was just kind of a gut feeling that when I was done touring it, I was like, I like this one more than the other ones.
It was down between James Madison and Virginia Tech as my top two choices here in Virginia, and my brother went to Tech, my sister went to JMU, so I was literally tied down the middle between the two. Then I went to go visit for a game day, and I was like, this is exactly what I want. It's a big football school, and I don't know, just everything about the school, bringing them all together, it really felt like home. Yes, tours are great, but honestly, you're not gonna really get the full experience and know if this school is right for you if you don't try and go to either a game day, go stay with a friend for a weekend and get to experience dorm living and apartment living and all of that for yourself. Yes, academics are a huge part, but also you have to make sure that you feel comfortable at whatever school you choose.
My college decision was a little bit non-traditional. I didn't really necessarily have this aha moment. I decided my college solely because it made sense. It checked all the boxes. It had the major that I was looking for, a club that I wanted to get involved in, as well as Greek life. I loved being 2 hours away from home, and it made a lot of financial sense. And then I got here on move-in day, and I could not picture myself anywhere else.
Best advice for incoming freshmen.
So honestly, like my biggest advice is to really just leave those at-home struggles behind. You are going into something way different. You're going to a different part of your life. You should be able just to be free-minded and have fun and worry about yourself. These 4 years are the best years of life. That's what people say.
My biggest piece of advice for freshmen would be to not be scared to go out of your comfort zone. College is such an amazing time where you're finally gaining some more independence and you're really learning a lot about yourself. It's just a super fun new life journey, I guess. You don't want fear to ever hold you down from doing something. Never say no just because you're scared of embarrassing yourself or scared of failing or whatever. Do anything you can to go out of your comfort zone and try new things and really just live it and enjoy it to the fullest, because this is just a time in your life where you can try a bunch of new things and learn from your mistakes and experiences. Don't let fear get in the way of amazing opportunities.
You really don't realize how good you have it until you leave. Like, I feel like everyone complains about living in a dorm. Ugh, like my AC sucks, or like I can't make my own meals. But like looking back, like living in a dorm was like absolutely so fun. In freshman year, it's like you really don't have like the stress of deciding like what do I want to do with my life, like what's my major. It's like the year you acclimate, super relaxed, so it's more fun. Have as much fun as you can.
I think my best advice for incoming freshmen is not being afraid to push yourself and say yes to something. There's going to be a lot of different exciting opportunities and things that may freak you out. You know, it's scary and it's different and it's out of your comfort zone, but if you say yes, you'd be so amazed by the wonderful things that you get to learn.
You need to learn time management and have a really strong time management skills. You also need to have strong study skills, especially if you are like me and you came from a high school where you could kind of just skate by without having to study. You could kind of just take a test and wing it and get a good grade and whatever. It does not work like that in college, and I went into college with absolutely no study skills at all, and I did not do well on my first exam, and it freaked me out because I was not used to that. So I had to develop strong study skills really fast, and college is really what you make it.
Have fun. Always say yes. I'm telling you, I think you should never say no to going out or taking an experience with your friends, because you can't get that back, and once it's done, it's done. You know what? If you don't have fun, then you can always come home, but like you never know until you actually try. And even though you might be scared or intimidated, I think always saying yes and trying to push yourself to do new things and experience more is gonna be worth it in the end.
Craziest college story in one sentence.
The last tailgate. Period. That's all I'm gonna say.
Thousands of bugs invaded my room because I left the window open the night before my midterm.
It was my freshman year at a Halloween party. It was my birthday. I chipped my tooth at a frat and thought my entire tooth fell out, and I started bawling, crying because of it. But I chipped my tooth in a frat house.
Can you fit 12 girls into a Toyota Corolla?
Oh my god, okay. So for legal reasons, this is a joke. One time, there was a kid who was involved in a very high-profile case/investigation. One day in class, we were talking about the case, and this kid literally started arguing with my professor about the case and physically said out loud that he was a defendant in the case. And all of us just looked at him and we were like, if you knew what case this was and how big it was crazy.
Thank you so much to everybody who agreed to be in this video. All of their socials are down below. Their Instagrams, YouTubes, everything. I'll link their LinkedIns. They're all amazing. I definitely want to do more girl talk style videos like this, so if you want like a part 2 that's more R-rated, I don't know, let me know. DM me on Instagram. I do a lot of question polls, so you guys can submit your answers there. But I love you guys so much. I'm so sorry to my upcoming college freshmen who are having a very unconventional year, but at the same time, you are the only class that can say you started college during a mass pandemic. You're gonna have to be able to tell your kids that. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. I love you guys so much, and I will see you next week with a new video. And I'm pretty sure videos from here on out are going to be at school, so move-in vlogs, birdie house vlogs, college vlogs, even though it's all online, are coming. My mom asked, I chipped my tooth on a swell bottle.